Well, thanks to the big orange gremlin looking motherfucker, multiple farms in Texas just shut down overnight. Why? Because ICE raids made nearly 100% of the workforce completely vanish. People ran, got detained, or flat out got scared to death and never came back. Dairy farms are in panic mode right now. Cows gotta be milked every 8 hours. And guess what? Nobody's showing up to milk these fuckers, folks. This isn't some Texas problem either. This is happening across the entire nation. ICE isn't just out here enforcing some bullshit laws. They are actively crippling our food systems with fear and chaos. You want to talk about consequences? This ain't just about politics anymore, y'all. It's about what's on your table, what's in your fridge, or what's about to be missing from your fucking store. These Nimrods aren't saving America. They're starving it.
All right, MAGA, get out there. Where are you at? You got your jobs back. You got your jobs that were taken from you. Get out there. Get out there and start working. Get to work. America first. Get out there. 100% haven't shown up to work due to immigration raids, Texas farmer says. America's migrant workers are terrified to work, but unable to stay home. So get out there, MAGA. You got these jobs back. You took them back. You voted. You got your guy in there to get rid of all of those migrant workers. So get out there. Get out there and start working. But for real, I want to shout out to the undocumented migrant workers as they were deemed essential in 2020. They stepped up when this nation needed them most. They have my utmost respect. They should see a pathway to citizenship. Period. Period. They were deemed essential workers, risking their lives in one of the most hazardous jobs in the entire U.S. labor market. They have my full respect. Thank you for your service and your contribution to this country.
I need to know if you saw a buried report that Texas overnight has nobody working their fields. They ramped up their ICE raids, which Florida and Texas have been doing for months. This is not new, but their farms right now, nobody has shown up to work. They have animals in danger of dying, of getting sick because they don't have the workforce. And I saw another creator about 2 weeks ago say this is why they just ramped it up in California, especially in California, because they're trying to crash our economy, which is apparent. It's part of Project 2025. If everybody's hungry, if everybody's poor, if everybody's starving, we're easier to control. So, good luck.
We're here. We are here at the FAFO stage. This is really bad. And if you appreciate my content, please engage with this video. I'm just going to read this to you. Multiple Texas farms shut down after almost 100% of workforce vanishes overnight. In a stunningly swift overnight change, some Texas farm operations had to shut down after losing virtually all of their workforce, an exodus triggered by the increase in immigration raids and increased enforcement. The ripple effects of these raids are the gift that keeps on giving and will be felt nationwide. Unpicked crops are now left unharvested. Livestock were left untended, and rural economies are on edge. The story isn't just a tale of woe for Texas farms. It's a warning for American agribusiness, food prices, and communities that keep food on our plates. I need you to share this with every Republican you know. And you don't even need to wait for their response. They just need to know what's happening. And this is part of my line of work. I deal with commercial farmers, including these small farmers, as clients. And I cannot tell you how this is the beginning of the complete collapse of our economy under this Project 2025 administration that doesn't know what they're doing. You talk about the immediate shuttering of farms, because this is actually what's happening. with the food, with the harvests that are lying there completely rotting. That is a loss of food to local food distributors, local grocery stores, local restaurants, hospitals. They sell their harvests, all sorts of vegetables, to businesses within the state of Texas. This is where you can go into your local grocery store, and now you're going to see hardly any vegetables or fruit, depending on what they're growing, or a shortage of meat. This is what's going to happen. Now, all of the other industries that support farming, you've got local pesticide, herbicide, fertilizer suppliers that are just, their sales are going to plummet. These farmers aren't going to be purchasing that. You've got H-2A workers who are now gone, migrant workers who are now gone. They were paying taxes. Even if they didn't have social security numbers, they were given tax numbers, tax ID numbers. So now you got millions of dollars just poof, gone overnight from these Texas communities. You've got trucking companies that are hired to haul the produce from the farms to the packaging plants. You've got packaging plants who wash the vegetables, grade the vegetables, pack the vegetables, whose sales are going to plummet. Now you're going to have other industries who don't employ either migrant workers or H-2A workers who are going to have layoffs. This is all under Republican leadership, not just from the White House, but from the Republicans that were elected in the state of Texas. And if you think this is going to stop at Texas, you've got another thing coming. And you want to know which farms are going to be impacted further down the road? They're going to be safe for now. There's a small percentage of farmers who are actually Democrats. And they understand how important it is to protect their employees, take care of their employees. Those employees who feel safe will keep showing up for work because they know the owners have their backs, which says something about these other farms where the employees are like, I'm too scared to show up. Let me add this final thing. This is going to impact farmers. They're at risk of going out of business. Who's going to jump in? The federal government to compensate them with our tax dollars. So now our tax dollars is going to be used to cover the bullshit leadership of this administration on top of the overwhelming increasing tax dollars being used by this administration to scare, to deport, to imprison people with brown skin. Like, our tax dollars are not helping everyday Americans at all. And this is just the beginning under Republican leadership.
So some bad news for U.S. agriculture. Farms in Texas are shutting down at an increasing rate. This is mainly due to the fact that their workforce has literally vanished 100% overnight in some cases. Of course, the immigration raids by Donald Trump's ICE department is causing this, and it's leading to complications for the business, and in many cases these businesses are actually shutting down. The issue with this, of course, is that the supply chains will be affected. Prices will be increased as food scarcity increases as well. So folks, let me know what you think about this story. The source for this is MSN. My name is Nick. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
So there's reports coming out right now about farms in Texas losing nearly 100% of their staff due to immigrant workers not turning up because of fear of the ICE raids. So let's talk about that. Texas farms generate around $32 billion a year in revenue for the state, huge, valuable, and there's around 100,000 and there's hundreds of thousands of farm workers in Texas. And around 20-30% of those are foreign born, and around 17% of those are undocumented. So there's a lot of immigrants and a substantial number of undocumented immigrants. Now, the ICE raids have caused people to stay at home because of the fear that they're going to get deported. this means that farms are losing their staff. Some dairies have lost half their workers overnight. That's halts milk operations and also means the herd isn't being tended to. But it's not 100% of staff because less than 30% are immigrants in the first place. So we need to clarify 2 points. First of all, it is an issue because farms require a lot of manual labour. And even if you're losing 10% of the staff, that's going to be a bigger impact, but it's not 100%. Now, the reason it's a problem right now is this harvest is going on right now. So it's the winter wheat harvest, so it's planted at winter, gets harvested now, and around 50% of wheat would be harvested right now. And it's a critical phase. That's not going to happen if the staff aren't there. You then got a lot of fruit being harvested right now: cantaloupes, watermelons, peaches, plums, blackberries. They're all being harvested right now in either central or northern Texas. And these delays could either cause a loss of the crop or a reduced quality and therefore reduced revenue for the farmers. So it's actually quite a big issue. There's also secondary effects. The hay and silage is having troubles being harvested. That means there's going to be a long tail impact because the lack of hay now going to impact the feed supplies later on. You've also got problems with logistics, so haulage, delivery, and then food processing plants. So think about abattoirs, etc. If the immigrant workers don't turn up for that either, you're not going to be able to get the food processed even once it is going from the farm to the factory. So this is quite a big issue. Not 100% of staff, but it is a significant percentage of staff, which is going to impact food supplies.
Howdy, we got some breaking news from Texas, and it ain't too good, but it's news you can prove. Check this out. We got farms in Texas right now, all over, closing overnight. Closing down because they have lost 100% of their workers. Now, you already know why they lost the workers. Immigration and the ICE, the results of that's the problem. But see, what's going on is not only have they lost the workers, they have also, they're beginning to lose crops in the fields, livestock not being taken care of. This is right now. Texas farms, people know the communities that these farms are in that depend on the farms. They're not doing too well either because they depend on the farms. And this ain't gonna stop in Texas. This is gonna go all over America. People gonna start feeling this shit, and it ain't gonna be nice. Somebody better say something about this shit, because the government ain't saying shit. They don't give a damn. Shit's about to get out of control. It's getting fucked up. Somebody better ring the motherfucking alarm around here. All right, I'm out.
Enjoying a day off today from shooting the film Henry. I go back tomorrow, and I'm catching up on some reading today. And some articles that caught my eye were out of Texas. And if you haven't read these yourself, you want to. Hispanic workers are not showing up in the fields due to what? ICE raids. And I was glad to see ICE is in Texas. I mean, the raids are at such a level. Farms are just shutting down at a really high level. Being in California, I was glad to see we're not alone in this area. The reality of this impact financially going forward is huge. I did a series of videos a long time ago. The impact this is going to have longer term on our economy, it's horrendous. We have Trump, while campaigning, saying just going after hardened criminals. Well, we saw how that played out. He lied to us. He deceived us. And going after any and everybody brown skin. Here recently, he was going to give a bit of reprieve. That lasted for what, 5 days? And then again, we have here, in Oxnard, them chasing after Hispanic workers. Let's call it what it is. It's a genocide. They're going after people with brown skin. When you take out Hispanic folks, these laborers, and the hotel industry, construction, the restaurant, farming, etc., From an economic standpoint, that's going to be a disaster. Crops don't pick themselves. Dishes don't clean themselves. But yet they're hell-bent on one thing. They want these folks out of our society. And secondly, these ICE folks, it's a headcount thing. DHS is upside down, what, $1 billion right now and more? These ICE guys running around, they have never in their life made this much money. And these bounty hunters. And this is a privatization situation that these poor souls getting rounded up. It's just disgusting. So what do we do? What do we do? We continue to attend peaceful protest rallies. We go to town halls. In the midterms, we turn out in huge record numbers and vote these people out. We keep showing up between now and then and turn out in record numbers.